Hello everyone. Today, I decided to make a new kind of video that hopefully will reach a lot of people. What is shown in this video are some of the homemade electroforming paints and conductive inks I have tried over the past years. I have made paints with graphite, copper, and silver in the last few years, using many different products as the bonding material. But as you may already know, I prefer to use silver conductive paint. Most of what you saw at the beginning of the video were paint samples that I made and worked. Only a few, since I definitely made more than 3 to 5 times that amount of paints trying to find what I liked the most. Most of them were formulas found online, and many more were my ideas. I documented a few. Let me know if you would like to know more about some of those recipes. The reason I have tried to make my own conductive paints is because I know I am lucky to be in a place where I can purchase the highest quality silver conductive paint. But not everyone has that option, and if I ever moved out of the city, then I would have to take some with me or make my own. Making my own paint would be ideal since I could make art anywhere I could go. Besides finding a way to make my own paint, I have been looking for 2 more critical and crucial pieces in that conductive paint. The first one, and most important one, is to find a paint that can be considered safe to use or not toxic. Second important part one I'm looking in a conductive paint is fast drying and strong adhesion to most surfaces. As you may imagine, finding something like that could be very challenging and difficult. Some would say perhaps even impossible, especially if you want the product to work while not being toxic or harmful. Well, I found a combination of materials that are not toxic and are actually eatable and organic. Even the metal could be eaten in theory, especially if using a metal like gold or silver. So in theory, I found a combination of organic materials that can produce an electro-conductive paste and or paint that can be consumed. Would definitely recommend not to eat it still. It is a very simple formula that only requires 3 items. First material is metal. Second material is alcohol. So if you get clean, drinkable alcohol and eatable metals, like gold or silver, plus the third ingredient that is also eatable and organic. Combining them all 3 could still produce a safer product. The third ingredient in the formula is also the bonding compound. When combined, you get a conductive paint that dries almost instantly, that can be bent and scratched with a wire brush in 10 or 20 minutes, depending on layer or application thickness. The third ingredient is also a great sealant. It can completely seal and protect organic materials and matters like insects or plants. I still need to conduct tests of how good of a sealant it is for many more things like shells and stones. We'll be conducting experiments at some point. As you can see at the end of the video, I used a drinking straw as my test subject. I decided to use that since it is plastic and very thin and flexible, a perfect subject to test for adherence, coverage, flexibility, and resistance. As shown in the video, the electro-conductive paint I have made here covers very well with just 1 coat, dries fast, and a few minutes later, when brushed with a wire brush and bent to extremes, the conductive paint stays in its place and continues to look good and stay in the plastic straw. I am waiting for some other metal powders I ordered recently to try this formula before I release it into the public. The third ingredient is worldwide available and extremely cheap. So if my tests give me great results, I'll make sure to share that secret third ingredient and a full rations formula for everyone interested. Let me know if you would like to know more. Also, if you have made any conductive paints and inks before, can you guess what material I may be talking about?